Right. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Elevate Your Path, Marketing Professionals of NIRSA. Today we are featuring Julie Saldiva, who is the Senior Assistant Director of Program Safety and Communication at Texas State University. I'm Rochelle Williams, the Aquatics and Youth Programs Coordinator at Western Washington University, and I'm the Rec Chat Committee Chair. So thanks so much for being here, Julie, and can you tell us who you are and where you work and what your role is?
Sure. Thanks for having me. At Texas State University, I initially started 13 years ago as the Assistant Director of Aquatics and Safety. A few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I was promoted to the Senior Assistant Director position, and I gained marketing, fitness and wellness, and assessment. And so it's been an interesting ride. We have full-time staff in the fitness program, and we were supposed to have a full-time person in the marketing. But as I think we're going to talk about later, that kind of got changed around a little bit on us thanks to specific circumstances.
Great, thank you. And then what other institutions have you been affiliated with?
I worked at Trinity University for about 2.5 years before coming to Texas State. I was the director of aquatics there. And I did my graduate assistantship at the University of New Hampshire, which was wonderful, but I do know that I want to stay in warm weather now. And I was an undergrad here at Texas State, so it's been really awesome coming back to home.
Nice. Yeah, it's always nice to I did the same thing, but reverse. So yeah. I came to Texas and was like, it's way too hot here, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm wearing a sweatshirt. So, so you mentioned a little bit about your promotion and how you came into overseeing marketing. So could you tell us kind of how marketing was a part of your job before you came to oversee marketing? And maybe I'm sure most people don't know, I was a GA with you, and we had a marketing GA at that time, but marketing was also a big part of my job as the aquatics GA.
Yeah. So we worked with the marketing program. Yes, there was a GA in charge of it, and then the associate director directly supervised the GA. And so they mostly did, we'd ask, hey, we need this, we need to promote this, and they would kind of just create the graphic designs for whatever it was we needed in posters. And then it did evolve to where they did hire a coordinator. After you left, they hired a coordinator to supervise the graduate assistant. And then just with the leadership changes and reorganization of our department, the GA position went away along with many of our GAs. We went from having 11 GAs back in your day to we're down to just 1 now. And so then we had a marketing coordinator for a number of years. Unfortunately, they move on, coordinator positions, they move on and stuff. And when I took over marketing, there wasn't one at all, and I got to hire one. We had some failed searches because, in my opinion, we were not paying the position a amount that was competitive with other marketing positions in the area, so that we just weren't getting a good candidate pool. We got very lucky, and we actually were able to hire someone for a short period of time. She was looking for a better work-life balance than where she was at, and we were able to offer that to her, even though she was going to get paid significantly less than where she was coming from. But unfortunately, her husband got his dream job, and she was able to stay at home with her baby. And then we were in the process of hiring one more time, and Corona hit, and like a lot of places, we were not able to hire, and we still haven't been able to hire, although we are crossing our fingers that in the next fiscal year, which starts in September for us, that we will be able to hire somebody new. We are hoping to get it reclassified, though, not as a marketing, but maybe as a specialist type position, because here at Texas State, we got to work in with certain parameters, certain classifications. And we're hoping that will enable us to pay them and be more competitive with other positions in the area.
Sounds like y'all have been through a lot.
Yeah, we have.
So with those kind of gaps in having that full-time position, and also with you taking on those responsibilities, especially with the GA position being gone, how have you all had to streamline your services to kind of serve, because campus recreation at Texas State is very large. So there's a lot going on with marketing. So how have y'all been able to streamline your services to offer marketing services despite the lack of staffing or resources?
Yeah, so we had to almost recently, I finally said, I can't do it all because I'm still directly running. I have a GA in aquatics and safety, but I'm still very hands-on in that area. It's still a lot of hours in that area, and I'm pretty much a full-time marketing coordinator too. Can't do it all. So I sent all the programmers a list of everything marketing has done or could do. There are lots and lots of different ways you can reach the students here, but we just can't do it all, and we don't need to do it all. We're just going to run ourselves into the ground doing it, and that's pretty much what I was doing. I was putting myself into the ground, trying to do it all and make everyone super happy, and everyone knows about all our programs. So I sent, here's a list, here's all the things, highlight 5 things that you just would be really unhappy if marketing quit doing them. You really need it in order for your programs to be successful. And then cross off 5 things that, like, if we stopped doing it, you'd be fine. Like, it would be no big deal, or it was something that you and your staff could handle and start doing on your own. So we compiled that list. We had several conversations about it and staff meetings, and really talked about the things that we wanted to focus on and some ideas. And it kind of came down to less print and paper, because that's expensive. We have a big printer paper, but the ink is, each cartridge is $270, and there's like 10 different colors. And so less on that, and let's get into the digital TVs in our student center. Let's get into the digital TVs in our res halls, because that's just filling out a form. Nobody has to go anywhere. Nobody has to get a poster stamped and then go physically post it places. We picked a couple buildings on campus that we feel our library, because nobody's more stressed out than the people at the library, right? So let's post about stuff there. And we post in Jowers, which you're familiar with, Rochelle, but that's where our health and human performance department is academically, and they use our facilities a lot. So let's post there. And then, of course, in our own building. And so a big focus on digital media. We've been focusing on social media, especially as the numbers were lower here. People weren't physically coming here, so let's reach them where they're at. So we're focusing on digital media. We are not doing tons of the paper media. We're just kind of trying to give that a break until we can get fully staffed again, and then maybe we can start bringing some of those things back. And it's been hard to get, people want to do it all, and I get it, like after all these conversations about let's focus on digital, someone's like, let's do table tents in the dining halls. And I'm like, we can't, we don't have enough. That's a lot of work. You got to create something. You got to make sure the design is good to go. Then you got to get printed. You got to get dining halls to approve it. And then you got to go fold all those papers, and you have to yourselves. The dining hall's not going to do it for us. Go put them all over the tables in the dining halls. So that's it's a great way to market, but it's just not where we're going to put our resources right now, because we just can't keep spinning that hamster wheel trying to do everything. We've got to focus in on what we can really do and what's still going to reach students in a lot of ways.
Yeah, especially with not having quite as many students on campus, it might not make the most sense to have physical marketing products.
Yeah.
Because they're just not there. So yeah, that makes total sense.
And we are reopening 100% in the fall, but yeah, it's still, we can only do so much. Let's get them everywhere they're at. They're in the halls. They're in the res halls. So let's hit them up there.
No, absolutely. So you have been trying to engage with the people that are on campus and engage with people kind of where they are. So you talked a little bit about the TV screens. What type of marketing have you done that has been very successful in increasing engagement in your programs, or even just within the social media channels or anything like that?
We received some criticism in some of our climate surveys we put out that we just promote our programs and we don't really educate people. And, hey, that's true. We need to start educating. And so we're lucky to work with some registered dietitians in our department, and they have put on some quick healthy tips videos, and people have loved that. And so we're educating, maybe at the end of the video we're like, P.S. we have nutrition coaching, but the goal is to educate them. And those are the ones that get shared, and there's lots of engagement, or they ask questions and stuff like that. Also silly things. So we had a wild turkey that was just randomly hanging out at our staff entrance. And someone snapped a photo of it. And thankfully, I also have really great students. I have a student who manages our social media, and she posted that photo, and she was like, "Attention Bobcats, in accordance to, you know, like some new safety measures, we've got Bobo, the security guard, please give him a warm welcome." And it got probably the most engagements we've had. Like, it's our most popular post. And she named him Bobo because our mascot is Boko. And that's the creative thing that I definitely don't have. And I'm thankful I have, you know, students that can do that kind of thing. But things like that get people to be aware of our page. They share it, more people find out about it. And so just remembering that we're not here just to promote our programs, but to educate people and help them be healthy, well people. And so turning that around into different things is how it's kind of worked for us. And additionally, like during Corona, we sent out an email about some events that we had coming up, because the university was getting complaints from parents that we weren't offering anything for their kiddos to do. And we're like, yeah, because it's hard, because it's Corona. But so one event we did have was the painting some pumpkins last October, and surprisingly, we sent an email out, and it filled up within like the hour. And we were like, they read the email. And so I think sometimes when there's not a lot going on, it's some different forms of marketing that I had previously been like, email, nobody reads email. They're like, ugh, you know, but it worked. So sometimes trying things that maybe you haven't tried in a long time because it didn't used to work, but the generation is changing. Everything's changing right now. So try something different.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a good kind of callback to like, just because you used to do it and it stopped working doesn't mean it isn't relevant again.
Yeah.
Like if people are wearing crop tops and mom jeans that were popular in the 90s, if that's already back, then maybe
let's not talk about that. That's
maybe we've cycled back through. I do love a mom jean though. They're so comfy. So as we're trying to think about reaching people where they are and engaging people, what does diversity, equity, and inclusion look like for you regarding marketing on campus?
So we think a lot about everything we post, every flyer and poster, what the people in the photo look like needs to look like what our students, they can see themselves in their photos. And photos do better than graphic designs. We do both, but that's one of our big goals this fall is to get a lot of photos of all the events. Now that things are coming back, we need to get more photos, a lot of B-roll, a lot of stuff that's just ready to go. So when we want to do a flyer on something, we have the photo already. Currently, we kind of like run around, will somebody pose for us? Sign this photo waiver and pose for us, please. But you know, we are an HSI, our campus is very diverse. And so we want to make sure that that's the media that we're putting out there, the folks in that media look like our students. And I think too, when we think about diversity and inclusion, we'll think about gender, we'll think about race, but I think something that campus recreation needs to think about too is different body types. We tend to, I like to steal. I just stole, when I went to a restaurant for lunch, I stole some flyers from local gyms and specialty shops, and everyone looks the same in their photos, and it's all females, and mostly females, and it's trim bodies. Beautiful trim bodies, but that just kind of turns off a certain group of people, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure everyone feels like somebody there looks like me. I won't be uncomfortable. We do have, unfortunately, in our weight room, we have a lot of bodybuilding. There's a high population of bodybuilders that use our weight room, and so we do need to combat that image that you're going to be working out next to these people, because that's uncomfortable for a lot of people. So just really thinking about it. I think diversity in your staff that you hire, I know that's not directly marketing, but I think just they're seen, they're visible. It's part of our marketing. It's just that unintentional marketing. So just making sure that our photos and everything we run it looks like someplace people would be comfortable going and they would see themselves there.
Yeah, well, and I really appreciate the whole thinking about putting different body types on marketing and imaging, because when I was at Texas State, I did fitness class with you, and the only reason I did fitness class with you is because you were like, hey, let's go do this. And I'm not saying you bullied me into it, but you were like, we're going to do this. And I was like, okay. And when I went to class, I was like, for me, I felt like I was the only one that looked like me. I was like, I'm not fit. I'm a swimmer. This isn't for me. And you were like, no, you should be here. This is fine. And so, yeah, like I continued to go and I was able to go to like other things, but I think especially with the weight room, it takes, like I didn't start using our weight room until I started going to CrossFit classes, because at the CrossFit classes I went to, everybody there was just normal. Like, yes, there were like the fit elite level athletes, but it was just normal people
Yeah.
working out. It wasn't the stereotypical, like what you see on posters or flyers. And I think campus recreation is moving in a really good direction to be more body positive and be more inclusive of all types of bodies. And yeah, I am very grateful for that. Like, yeah, like we don't have we're moving away from having um, any type of clothing restrictions here. Like, we don't have any clothing policies, and I'm allowed to wear crop tops at work, so I do. So, and if I want to spin on a bike in a sports bra and bike shorts, I can. And a lot of people from all different types of bodies have really been engaging in that. And it's been absolutely wonderful to see, because it just creates a more welcoming environment for everybody else.
So. It does. And like the pool, we've done the same. We did the same in the weight room and stuff, but in the pool, being a pool person, born and raised, you don't let t-shirts. It's going to damage the chemistry. It's going to cause all these problems, or the mechanical pumps and stuff. But we kind of realized that's not necessarily true. If the only way you can get someone in a pool is by letting them wear a t-shirt, because then they're comfortable, then let them wear a t-shirt. It's fine. Your chemistry will be fine. And so that's a way to invite people in, is letting them be comfortable with their attire. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And that's also like the way that we've moved that way here at our pool too. Excuse me, because I think that the idea of pool chemistry is just a conspiracy from the pool companies to sell us more pool chemicals. Because it does not mess up your pool chemistry as badly as people say it does. It just doesn't. So
well, something else, one of our favorite things that we've done is we have in all the bathrooms on the mirrors, you know how on car side view mirrors or whatever, it says like objects may appear closer or whatever, I don't know the exact wording. We have some that kind of mimics that, but it says, images in mirror may not, reflect society standards, or, you're still beautiful no matter what society is trying to tell you.
Yeah. No, and I really appreciate that, because, I think the rec center is a very formative place for a lot of people, and if we can make a positive impact here, hopefully it'll have lifelong implications.
Right. That's the goal.
That's the dream. So you have already talked a bit about kind of how you've had to pivot by including your DEI initiatives and also through COVID and lack of staffing. I know that you've done a little bit of reorging of your website. Could you talk to us a little bit about how that started, what you're actually doing, and what it's going to look like when it's complete?
Yeah. So, we have software we have to use, right? And there's the old program called Gato, and that's what our website currently is in. And then you can upgrade to Calico, which is more aesthetically pleasing website and does a few more things. Right now, and of course we want to upgrade, we want to look modern. Right now our website is divided by program areas: aquatics and safety, fitness and wellness. Like, there's tabs at the top of our website that divide us up that way. That is not how students think. They don't think, oh, I want to go swimming, let me look for aquatics and safety. Oh, I want to work out, let me look at the fitness and wellness. Like, that's not the same terms that they're using. They may or may not know what intramural sports are. They may or may not know what sport clubs are, but they would look for sports, just sports, right? So we are trying to rephrase the website, and we have a committee. So we are getting everyone's minds together and making sure that we're going to include everyone in the right way. But we have perused a lot of other people's websites to see how they phrase things and what they call it. How can we best present like ours? People come to our website for hours, so how can we make that easy to find with all of our different facilities, because we have so many, and right now it's kind of hard to find the information that you need. So thankfully, with moving on to Calico, we are able to start with a clean slate. We got this empty sandbox, and we are going to reorganize the website in ways that the students, and we're talking to the students about it too, Like when you went to look to find something, what did you look for? You know, like what words are you using? People, I'm like amazed. People don't know what the word natatorium means. And I think sometimes even like typing in Word, it like marks it as a misspelled word. And I'm like, no, that's a real word. So we're going to stop I mean, it is the natatorium. It's going to be called that, you know, some places, but it's going to be more easily found under pools. It's a pool, and that's, people know what that, they look for pool. So we're just really trying to rephrase the website and organize it in a manner that is not split up by program area, because we are not, I am not aquatics and safety. We are campus recreation. We are a whole. And our branding and all of that stuff, we want to make sure people recognize us as campus recreation. Stop trying to think in these silos of program areas and think how the students think, because that's how they're going to find us the easiest and find the information that they need the easiest. So it may be workouts, and we list, you know, group exercise and personal training is not the only workouts we offer. We offer, you know, the pool, you can work out there, the weight room, you know, weight room doesn't need to be under facilities necessarily. It can be under one category where all the opportunities for workouts are. So I probably should have pulled up we have like a plan right now. We got to start plugging it into Calico and see how it's going to work out with the parameters that we're under with Calico. But definitely stealing ideas from other universities. Some of you are doing a great job out there, and we're going to be stealing some of your ideas.
I feel like this should be a presentation somewhere, because
we'll see how it ends up.
No, that's fair. But yeah, if you have any resources, I can definitely link them in the comments below, because I can add those to the description. I also love that Gato and Calico are both cat related, because it's the bobcats.
Yep, isn't that clever? Some people don't know that. Don't put that together.
Glad they're staying on brand. No, almost immediately I was like, Gato is cat in Spanish. We're the bobcats. Okay. Oh, it's so funny. So again, kind of talking about the evolution of where you started and where we are now. How have your marketing strategies changed since COVID kind of came on the scene? And then are there any pieces from the strategies that you shifted to that you will continue to engage with?
Yeah, so I mean, one thing, we had to cut stuff out of the budget when Corona hit, as many people probably did. And so we had TVs with cable in the weight room. We had to cut the cable. So now we've got these TVs that are just sitting there, instead of them sitting there blank and having people ask you all the time, can you please turn on the game? We found a conversion device where it's basically a PowerPoint. And so now we market all of our programs on those TVs. And it just, every 7 seconds or something, it shows a new ad. And I think that's something we're going to keep. I think it's a great way to promote things to folks. If they really want to watch the game, I think half of them have it on their phone now anyway. So I don't, and we're still financially not ready to start paying for cable again. But so things like that, the focusing, we started making a lot more videos, and we really transitioned to a lot of videos, and those are going to continue. We're going to continue to make the nutrition videos, or some of my favorites that we've made is like, hey, this is a pull-up assist machine. And it is not for your quads. You're not supposed to put your dirty shoes on the padded, where your knees should go, and use it to work your quads. This is a pull-up machine. And so we kind of made fun of that a little bit, and just like, this is how you use it. And we want to do that for more of our machines, because that is part of marketing and getting people into our building, is they don't know the equipment, they don't know how to use it. So we want to continue these short 1-minute videos. I've been told they only, attention spans 1 minute. That kind of, again, it's educating people, but it's also marketing and making them more comfortable and getting them inside the building. So those kind of things are here to stay. I know like group exercise is going to continue to offer some of their classes virtually. Especially like classes like Zumba, because one of the first feedback we got on that was, hey, I've always wanted to take Zumba, but I was too embarrassed. Now I can do it on Zoom and turn off my camera and just dance in my living room and nobody sees me. And that's fantastic. And I was just talking to Mitzi Rojas, our assistant director of fitness and wellness, promoting, we've kind of dropped it. We're going to start promoting like the beginning of class. Hey, do you guys know there's free swim clinics coming up next week, So utilizing that to reach people who won't come in our doors, but hey, you know what? Maybe I will go to that swim clinic, So those are a couple of things. Some of it we are looking forward to going back in person. we go to fairs and stuff, and they didn't go well during Corona. They didn't go well online. People were burnt out. So we're looking forward to actually being able to talk to people and give them a little goodie and hey, come out and you'd have a lot of fun in that group exercise class, I promise, kind of stuff. So some of it we're keeping it, and some of it we can't wait to talk to people again.
No, I feel that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And if anybody is interested in reaching out to Julie, I will put the department email in the description below, and you can find her contact information and reach out to her directly. I will also link any additional materials she has in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at RecChat, RecChat. Thanks so much and have a great day.